Hi, I'm Michael Valitutti. I'm a graduate gemologist, and my talk today is about iolite. Now, iolite is a really unusual gemstone. It actually goes back into ancient history. It was named after the Greek word eos, which means violet color, because most of the iolite that we do see actually comes to us in a blue-violet color. Now, it can occur in a green, a gray, which is seldom ever seen or used in jewelry. Normally what you're going to see iolite is in sort of that blue color, very similar to what you would see in a very good sapphire. That's exactly what you'll see iolite in. It's an incredible gemstone. It has historical properties, which I will get into. Anyway, it crystallizes in the orthorhombic crystal system. There's 7 crystal systems that everything crystallizes in, even metal, believe it or not. Platinum and gold actually have a crystal system, believe it or not. And gemstones, there's 7 crystal system, and this is in the orthorhombic crystal system, which, by the way, is the same crystal system as a tanzanite, though they're not related in any way other than they share the same crystal system. The color that you get is by iron. So iron is a coloring element you often see in a lot of gemstones like amethyst. So it's something that we see a lot in nature when you think about it. In the earth, there's a lot of iron in the crust, so it would make sense that these will infiltrate and affect the formation of gemstones, which they do, which of course causes the color. The chemical composition of iolite is magnesium, aluminum, silicon oxide. So it's something that's durable. It is, let me see here, about 7.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. It does not color fade, so it's something that you can wear all the time. Iolite, there's no known treatments for iolite. So when you do see iolite, it is completely natural. Now, that's a piece of iolite that I have right over here on the turntable, but I'm going to get to that in a minute because I'm going to show you some incredible properties about that. Sometimes with iolite, you're going to hear the word quarterite, okay? And some people will tell you, well, that is a bad iolite. No, it's not. In gemology, we use terms for gemstones. Some of them are not the same words that are used by geologists or mineralogists. So if you study geology, you're going to call this quarterite. We gemologists in the gem industry calls it iolite. It's the same thing. Couch or sofa is just another word for the same thing. So if you ever hear the term quarterite, quarterite refers to iolite, but it is a term that geologists use because they have to refer to a lot of different elements and all this, so they have, in certain respects, their own gem names or mineral names for certain stones. So I just want to clear that up, but this is 100% natural iolite, and again, it is not treated. Most of it comes today from India, but you do get some great deposits in Brazil and Tanzania and Madagascar. It has a refractive index similar to quartz. The refractive index refers to its ability to bend and slow light. So it's very similar to quartz. So why is that important? If you appreciate the brightness of quartz, you're going to get a very similar optic effect when you're looking at iolite. Iolite is a stone that doesn't come to market that much. One of the good iolite, though, the reason is because it has a very low yield. So when we mine a gemstone, we get rough, okay, and it's all sold by weight. Then what we have is what we call yield. Yield means that for every unit of weight of rough, let's say 100 pounds, make an easy example, how many pounds of cut gemstones am I going to get from 100 pounds of rough? Iolite has a very low yield, one of the lowest yields in the gem business. If you get 4% yield, you're lucky, which means 96 pounds of that rough will be lost and only 4 pounds of cut stones are going to be good because it's not treated. Usually with iolite, it's 1 or 2%. So that's why with iolite, there's no active iolite mining. So what they do is in these pegmatite deposits, and I've been to a few in Brazil, when they're mining the stones, like tourmalines and garnets, they'll find outcroppings of iolite. They see it, they like it, they put it aside. But no one actively opens up an iolite mine because you can't make enough money from it because it's the way that it forms. A lot of it will be opaque, so there's only a small portion of it that's really gem-worthy. Now, how did this become famous? You ever heard of it being the Viking stone and all that? It actually was. Iolite is a natural polarizer. So when you go to the store, you buy your Polaroid sunglasses, you know how they polarize light? They make the light beam in opposite poles to each other so you don't get the harsh reflections. This is what Iolite does, and I actually want to demonstrate that to you. And I'm going to go back to the shot here on my turnstile, and I want to show people this is a natural piece of Iolite. Now, when I shine the light there, you can see here that it is beautiful, natural blue in color. Can you see that? This is a natural blue Iolite. Now, watch what happens when I turn the stone. The moment I turn the stone, the color seems to disappear. Well, where's the color? So right now you're getting an effect. You're saying, well, Michael, the color is only on the surface of the stone, but not on the inside of the stone. Actually, you're wrong. The color of this Iolite stone is throughout the entire crystal. What you're seeing here, folks, is polarization. This light is being polarized. So you're not getting the selective absorption that you do when you twist the crystal this way. Now watch what happens. If I keep twisting, oh, and now the color comes back. It's not that it disappeared, it was always there. It's just that your light is being polarized. So that's why this sometimes has a term called a water sapphire. Because they say, look, it's a sapphire, but it looks like water. No, it doesn't. It's because it's being polarized. So how did the Vikings use the stone? They used the stone for navigation. So they would find Iolite, okay, in Norway and Sweden, because some of it is found there. They take this and they would grind it into a very flat stone like you're seeing here. And when they would navigate the ocean, they would look through that portion of the crystal. And they were able to spot the sun through the clouds. If you've ever been to that part of the world like England, it's very cloudy. So if you're out in the middle of an ocean on a really cloudy day, you know that at a certain time of day, you look at the position of the sun, and then that's how you know where you are. Remember the British sailors with the sextant? That's how they would navigate the world. Well, the Vikings would kind of do the same thing. The problem is when it's really cloudy, especially when it's those dark gray clouds, you have no idea exactly where the sun is. Well, they would take a piece of Iolite like this, literally put it up there to their eye, and you can do this if you ever go to a gem show and get a raw piece of Iolite, and they would look, and you can actually see the outline of the sun because the light is being polarized. And this is how they were able to navigate the oceans. So the Vikings left their land and they would invade England. And this is true, they would do this. And they did this because they had this stone. And then the British, to defend themselves, built castles. That's how castles came in England. It's actually a true story. Because when they would come, the Vikings, they didn't have the weaponry to attack them, other than swords and arrows and things like this and that. They couldn't attack an in-place fortress. So that's why the British built that. And before that, the British were kind of afraid of the water. They really didn't venture out in the ocean. They knew to defend their island, they had to develop a navy. Hence came the British Navy, hence came the discovery of America, et cetera, War of Independence, I'm not kidding. And it all began with Iolite. It's amazing how history can begin with a simple stone. And that's exactly what happened with this amazing stone. So Iolite is a stone that actually has a physical property that you can use. Now, of course, in today's modern world, we don't need Iolite to get a polarizing lens because we can just go buy it, you know, at any Target or 7-Eleven or whatever we want. That's the beauty of that. But it is an amazing story with Iolite. And not all gems have stories like this, but Iolite does. So when you're looking at it and saying, well, it's just Iolite, no, there's a lot more to it. There's history involved in Iolite. And I hope you appreciate it because it's a lovely stone. I don't do that much of it, but when I do, I try to use the best quality. So enjoy your Iolite jewelry because when you own a piece of Iolite, you really own a piece of history. Iolite has sailed every ocean of the world. It's historical, it's beautiful, and it's affordable, it's natural, and it's non-treated. It's a beautiful stone that I think everyone should own.